Big Pharma describes the collective pharmaceutical industry consisting of prominent multinational corporations and pharmaceutical companies. These entities hold a pivotal role in healthcare by conducting research, development, manufacturing, and distribution of prescription drugs and medications, such as pain relief, vaccines, or treatments for chronic illnesses. It exerts significant financial and political influence, shaping healthcare policies, impacting medical practices, and contributing to the global healthcare systems. The creation and development of the pharmaceutical industry started in the early 19th century, with the first isolation and mass production of chemical compounds like morphine by Friedrich Sertner in 1820. In 1906, the U.S. Pure Food and Drug Act was enacted, laying the groundwork for modern drug regulation and marking the beginning of the FDA that we have today. In the 1980s to 1990s, the pharmaceutical industry has known substantial expansion, marked by prolific drug development and soaring profitability. For instance, in 1981, Merck introduced the first hepatitis B vaccine, revolutionizing disease prevention on a global scale. The early 2000s witnessed growing criticism directed at the industry, particularly due to the drug prices. For example, in 2007, the high cost of an EpiPen, a life-saving device for severe allergies, garnered widespread attention and public outrage. This industry is central to medical advancement and improving general health, but has also been the subject of scrutiny and debate due to its immense influence. Throughout the years, Big Pharma has been the origin of numerous crises, one of the largest being the opioid crisis, which has resulted in 500,000 deaths in the US since 1999. Introduced in 1995 by Purdue Pharma, OxyContin was marketed as a less addictive form of oxycodone due to its time-releasing formulation, designed to provide 12-hour pain relief. However, the crisis took shape as Purdue Pharma engaged in aggressive marketing and promotion of the drug, distributing coupons to physicians for patients' OxyContin prescriptions and fueling the overprescription and subsequent addiction to opioids, leading to a devastating public health crisis. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, some critics raised concerns about the behavior of pharmaceutical companies. While the industry played a crucial role in developing vaccines and treatments, questions arose about vaccine pricing, access, and equitable distribution. These crises were embedded in the context of high sales and revenues for Big Pharma and underscore the significant ethical dilemma faced by the pharmaceutical industry between protecting their corporate interests by increasing profits and their commitment to patients. Are the Big Pharma practices ethical, considering that new and efficient drugs are key to improving the quality of life of patients? The contributions of the pharmaceutical industry to public health are immeasurable. The eradication of diseases such as polio and the development of life-saving HIV medications clearly illustrate the transformative impact of pharmaceutical innovation. Furthermore, the rapid development and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines underscored the industry's ability to respond to global health crises. Breakthroughs like these have saved countless lives and significantly improved the quality of life for those affected by a wide range of diseases. However, it is important to acknowledge that drug research and development are resource-intensive, time-consuming, and come with high risks and low success rates. In 2019, the pharmaceutical sector invested a staggering $83 billion in research and development expenditures, with nearly a quarter of their revenues dedicated to these expenses. Yet only approximately 12% of drugs entering clinical trials ultimately received approval from the FDA. The average research and development cost per new drug varies, ranging from less than $1 billion to over $2 billion. These astronomical costs and the low success rates highlight the substantial financial risks associated with drug development, emphasizing the need for significant investments in the industry. While substantial investments are made in the industry, major pharmaceutical companies like Johnson & Johnson allocate a significant portion of their revenues to rebates, discounts, and fees to ensure that their medicines remain accessible to a wide range of patients. Unfortunately, from a consumer's perspective, these discounts can be difficult to find as they often benefit other stakeholders such as insurers, pharmacies, and hospitals. Over the years, there has been significant and sustained criticism of major pharmaceutical companies for unethical practices. These industry leaders employ various powerful tactics to protect their dominant positions and maximize their revenues. One common criticism revolves around the exorbitant pricing of essential and new medications, exploiting their monopoly positions. This leaves patients with no choice but to pay inflated prices. In the past year, Americans spent $460 billion on prescription drugs, a substantial portion of healthcare spending. Additionally, it's common in the industry to acquire rights to older drugs and further increase their prices to boost profits without the need for additional research and development. A common criticism is the appropriation of decades of publicly funded research by the pharmaceutical industry to develop its new drugs and present them as their own accomplishments. A recent example is the drug remdesivir, developed by Gilead Sciences, which was expected to shorten the recovery time of COVID-19 patients. The drug was priced at $2,340 per treatment, despite receiving $70 million in public funding for its development. This pattern is particularly evident in cases like the vaccines developed by Moderna and Pfizer, considered significant marketing achievements in the history of pharmaceuticals. Furthermore, the pharmaceutical industry maintains its monopoly status by acquiring rights to promising new drugs from startups. Additionally, extensive lobbying efforts by pharmaceutical giants significantly influence legislation and market dynamics, often at the expense of patients struggling to afford necessary medications. Lastly, the industry's profit-oriented approach has led to a decline in the development of innovative drugs, with decreasing investments in research and development. This trend has contributed to little improvement in U.S. life expectancy over the past 2 decades. These ethical concerns collectively hinder access to affordable and innovative healthcare solutions for patients.